Talk Radio has been presented to you by the Argus Group. On Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Basden.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. As we said, going to commercial break, Vicky Ibrahim will be joining us in the studio, and we said another representative will be with her. And it's Miss Costley. Couldn't remember her first name, but she was very costly on this one. Georgianne Costley. Vicky, we are but 70 plus days away from the ITU. I think last time we were here, it was like 77 days. I stand to be corrected. This time, it'll be less than that, obviously.
I'm just looking it up.
Right, not a problem. Also, your guest, Ms. Costley, will be discussing about volunteering, because we had discussed this last week, Thursday. Will those things be taking place again? You said yes, so you brought her in and share the information. Bring us up to date on that.
Volunteers, we need you.
Is that simple? Okay.
Yes. We have about 600 positions. We do have them all listed up on our website, so anyone can go and look at the Tri Bermuda website and click on volunteers, and it'll take you right to the site, register, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on. We need road marshals, which of course are one of the most important roles that you can have. You keep pedestrians off the race course and everything like that, control traffic. But there's also other positions like aid station, where you hand out the water and the bars, etc. There's registration desk, and we have that on Thursday and Friday also. So if you can't do the Saturday, that's an option. Or if you want to do Thursday, Friday, and the Saturday, that's also an option. We have things like volunteer tent. We need you in there too. And floaters, somebody who can be on standby, who can go wherever needed. We also have areas like finish line, transition, and just a whole myriad of places you can be. Find something that you like.
What were the numbers like last year regarding volunteers overall?
Yeah, it was 600. Was it, Vic? Yep, 600,
wow.
yeah.
Oh,
We've broken it down a little bit. We have a few more areas this year. So we still need that many people to come out and support us.
So that was 600 over the 3 days, or 600 2 days? Or
3 days.
3 days, so it's basically 200 per day, or just
a little bit more
600?
than 200. Saturday is the big day.
Right.
Saturday we need like virtually 300.
I see.
Yeah.
So if someone's listening now, you said the website, and if someone can't get to the website, is there an email address or contact number or anything like that?
We don't have a contact number, but if they wanted to email me directly, they can email me WTS volunteer manager at gmail.com.
A lot of people who volunteer, I call them behind the scenes people. What sort of reward is for them. Yes, being there, seeing the event is great. Don't get me wrong. What else goes behind the scene by volunteering on an event like this?
Well, they get a fantastic T-shirt, and also a bag to carry, and we also provide them with breakfast. And the morning, the age group rates, which is the amateur, is a 6 a.m. check-in. So we do give them something to eat to make sure they're all fortified and ready to go. And at lunchtime also, we provide them with that, with a sandwich. So.
And don't let that 6 a.m. scare you, because it's the best shift of the day. You get to
course.
do your thing,
Get it over with.
contribute, and then head down to Front Street and see the action of the elite race.
Yeah, we even have
On
some
Saturday.
people. We have some people who actually compete in the age group race and volunteer in the afternoon at the elite race.
Wow.
Yep, so it's a 12-hour day for them, plus a triathlon.
What was it like working with the volunteers last year? That being the first time for me to hold an event like this.
It was great. They were very enthusiastic and they wanted to be involved and they enjoyed just being part of it. I think it was a lot more than they thought it was going to be. You volunteer for events that are local, but having the elite race, and they just love seeing especially the bikes just going whizzing by and just watching. Even they were doing their practice in the morning. That was just fascinating to them. How
So
fast
the
it was.
road traffic order, remember, that actually eliminates the speed limit for that time of the race, and allows vehicles, namely bicycles, to travel up to 100 miles an hour. So if you can just imagine what that's like, and being right on the front line, and I mean, as much as you're there to keep the course safe, there comes a point when, you know, people aren't going to be walking on the street anyway, because it's well underway. So really, all that's left to do is watch how incredible that race is as it whizzes by you. And I had a number of friends who I roped in at the very last minute last year, and I thought they'd never speak to me again. But they're saying we want to do it again this year. They had much more fun than they anticipated.
Really?
Yeah, because it's different to, I mean, it's always wonderful to volunteer and to contribute, but it was a very different vibe. Last year.
Volunteers play a significant role in any event, but this year being the ITU, this being the second year, is it added pressure for volunteers to be on point again?
Added pressure in what way?
Making sure that, last year we did this, we covered our bases, everything went smoothly this year. We don't want no hiccups for this year.
I think all of us are under added pressure. I mean, we want it to be even better, obviously, right? Every year you just want to take it to that next level. And there's great anticipation and great expectations for this year's event, because last year was so smooth run, so exciting, took everyone by surprise at how massive it was, really. And so those expectations are already there, and volunteers will be well trained. We're very much more organized this year. They'll be pleased to know, because it all maybe look very smooth on the surface, but that duck's going crazy underneath.
I was going to ask that. What challenges did you find throughout that weekend, because it was also the Friday night and into the Saturday? So what challenges did you find that you guys will sort of try to cement up this time around?
Helping volunteers to know where they have to be for the marshal. We've had a different approach this year, and the map is different, so we think it'll be a lot clearer where they have to go, instead of having to try to come into Hamilton to find out where they have to go. So that's our main goal. So I don't think the pressure is on them, it's more on us to make sure everything flows smoothly, to make everything easier for them and more information for them and clearer understanding.
And this year we have invested in the use of software to help with that task. So last year everything was quite manual. Georgianne was at the helm there and managed to pull it all together. But this year volunteers can actually go into the online platform, choose their exact location. It's named, it has the description of the street corner that they're on, exactly what their task is. They get continuous updates through that. I mean, it's really much better for all concerned.
Yes.
What will be the least number needed to pull this off?
600.
I was like
that a trick
600.
I know where you're going with that. I know where you're going with that. We're going to stick to 600. Is that
Okay,
right?
all right. So $5.99 is off. The event is off.
600. Yeah.
Well, this is why Georgianne recruits some great floaters too, because there are people who just don't show up on the day for all kinds
That's
of
where I was
reasons.
good. Yeah.
And so she has a core group of key people who can step in as needed.
Yep, they just sit at the volunteer tent or they'll watch the race and they say, oh, we need so-and-so and so-and-so, so I'll just dispatch them to there.
Right. Okay. What were some of the things that interacting with the general public, because we talked on Thursday about people that live on the course, know what's going on. So what was some of the interaction that some of the volunteers, especially on those parts of the course, had when they came back to talk about, what they experienced out there?
I think they liked the ones who, especially along the race course, liked volunteering at the end of the street. That's something that we promoted last year that we're going to be promoting again this year. You just kind of got to roll out and just there you are. So they liked that. And then some of them even had like watch parties. They might have had invited people over there at the end of the street to watch with them as they did their road marshaling piece. So I think that was much appreciated. They really liked that, yeah.
We also found that parents really appreciated volunteering with their underagers.
Right.
So that would be, what, 16?
14.
Yeah.
We take 14 and 15-year-olds for community service, but they have to volunteer with a parent.
Okay.
And anybody 16 plus for community, they can do it on their own.
Okay.
We're going to have to take a commercial break. We've got to go to news, but we will come back after news and talk to you more. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Joining us in the studio again is Vicky Abraham and Mrs. Costley. I like saying Mrs. Costley. I'm going to say the first name.
Oh, gee, thanks.
On the volunteer side, you catch my drift. Hope you're taking care of, making sure Vicky takes care of you on the Costley side.
Who's the boss? Who's the boss, Georgianne?
During break, we were discussing there's going to be a deadline and a place or a venue where the meeting's going to be held. Just bring us up to speed on that.
The deadline is going to be March 17th for volunteers. If you get stressed and you want to volunteer, we'll probably have it open for a couple of days, but we're looking for March the 17th so we can get a good feel for how many volunteers we need.
Mm-hmm.
And the training will probably be at Warwick Academy Auditorium.
Okay.
Most likely will be on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday to accommodate people, because I know some people work or whatever that goes on. So there will be training.
Okay, and that training, that process, what, over 2 hours? Is it or an hour? How long is the training?
It depends on the section that they volunteer in.
Okay.
Road marshals will probably be about 2 hours.
Wow.
Because it's a lot of them, so they have to break it down into groups, into sections. The smaller groups like registration and transition might be a little bit less than that.
Okay.
So what happens is that each sector head, which is the manager of each area that we need volunteers for, will train their volunteers within their group. So they're getting it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Yep.
Understood. Again, we said numbers looking to be 600. I guess things will start rolling in. Meetings wait to the last minute, but you don't want it. You don't want people to wait to the last minute. So you're going to put the word out there as much as possible to remind them how important it is their role as volunteers and to sign up on time.
We are, and we have advertising already on a lot of the major online platforms. So Island Stats, for instance, Burn News, Work is it online, and so you just click through on that ad when you see it, and it takes you straight to the page to sign up. We've also been emailing a lot of the volunteers who helped us out last year, and some of those who registered last year but didn't end up helping out. We're emailing them with some reminders. And it's really easy. I mean, it does take a little bit of time, just a few minutes to set up a profile. And the profile is really important because, as Georgianne was talking about, the training at Warwick Academy and a number of other updates that will be sent out over the next weeks. And that's how people will get that information. We're not emailing directly so much this year.
Right.
We're sending that information through the platform. It may come to them by email, but it's all at that central location. Yeah.
Okay. Any final comments, ma'am?
We just encourage everyone to come out and sign up. We don't want you to procrastinate too long, because the good spots of where you want to be might be gone, because you do get to choose this year. We're not allocating anybody somewhere, so you can go in, look at what you want, and select whatever you want. If it's, like I said, if it's marshalling or registration desk or whatever suits your fancy. If you can do 2 or 3 things on Thursday and a Friday and a Saturday, we welcome you.
Okay.
And the address, the website again is trybermuda.com/volunteer, and it has a link there. It'll take you right to the platform where you just sign up, and it's just basic information that we request.
And if you want to email Georgianne, sorry, Georgianne. Hopefully you get 600 emails in your inbox by the time you get back. It's volunteer at trybermuda.com. Same as the website, trybermuda.com.
Now, we also discussed there are some other things you'd like to add during this interview right now regarding the International Triathlon. Bring us up to date on what's happening.
Sure. So, I mean, obviously it's important for people to remember the date. So it's April 27th. It's a Saturday again. It feels like, oh, that's in April. I don't have to think about it. It really does. Just, I mean, I'm sure it's not just because we're part of the organizing team. It really is something to mark your calendar with at least. Decide whether you're going to be participating in it as a runner, a cyclist, a swimmer, or all 3. Or decide whether you're going to be volunteering. And then you're going to email Georgianne or go online and check that out at trybermuda.com. Or you can spectate, and that's an equally valid and wonderful way to support the event, because as we saw last year, the streets were lined with fans, and the international athletes really told us after that that that's what made it so special for them, and in fact that it's probably one of the better races they've ever been to on the World Triathlon Series circuit. If you think about that, includes the likes of Abu Dhabi, Japan, Yokohama, Edmonton. These are great cities in the world that we'd all love to be going to, and the athletes really enjoyed Bermuda more. And I really believe that. And they said that it's because of the spectators. So mark your spot, just as we would for May 24th. You know, let's get that tape out, decide where you're going to be. City of Hamilton. They'll be fully in support of it because they're a partner this year.
Right.
And they're really helping a lot in all of that as well. So, yeah, just important to keep that date in mind. And then the other thing I would like to mention is that we do have a corporate team relay. So that's basically encouraging the mostly international businesses or the larger businesses to get people together, and the most people that are registered from that company will win a prize.
No, is that volunteering and participating?
Okay, participating.
Oh.
Yeah, but we do have another thing for volunteering. So it's all on our website.
Well,
you go to our website.
Well, for the corporate challenge, I can get a team involved,
Yes.
and then I can have my volunteers all from the same.
You definitely could do that, but it'll be two separate prizes you'd be going for. One volunteer prize and one participant prize.
Oh, man. Okay.
That works, right?
Yeah, well,
So, we're thinking largely of the international businesses that have offices in London or New York, and they can bring people in. And if they bring in 8 or more visitors, we give them a $500 cash bonus. So that sounds good. And they needn't just come from the office. They can be so if you have 8 friends who are away and want to participate in the race, Earl, you'll get $500.
they don't have to finish, right?
They just need to participate in the race, and please be alive at the end of it. Don't be irresponsible about it now.
You ever heard of somebody blowing a tire on the swim?
No, but this may be the
I've
first.
got enough friends that would say, "Oh man, I got to punch it," and we're still in the water.
Got you.
Yeah, well,
I think that's Ian, isn't it? Did
There's
he
me.
get a flat
There's-
tire when he swims?
No.
Okay.
We'll save that for another day.
Okay.
Yeah, this talk this morning.
Oh, he doesn't look happy.
Earl? You're my friend. Vicky, I don't even know what she is.
He doesn't
I don't
look
even
happy.
Put her.
Okay.
I am
retract
happy.
that.
No, I'm happy, kid. I'm coming.
Okay.
750 meters?
You're in.
Hey.
We'll see
What
you
I
there.
what I covered this Saturday, it was about 600 meters. Seriously.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how much I improved from the first Saturday to the
That's
second
fantastic.
Saturday.
Oh. Well,
Yes,
See?
Vicky, don't even go to Vic's. Don't go there. Now you're trying to charm me up. Don't even worry if it. Good try. Next. I can read you, Vicky.
I can see your team now. Team Ian.
That's where that flat comes in, okay?
Oh, okay, no problem. No problem.
That's where that flat's going to come in. Speaking of teams, you said that you're looking for corporate teams, but from the local perspective, have you heard interest from local teams coming on board for this year?
Yes, we have, and there's some pretty special teams that I'm going to tell you about another time.
Mm.
Some big names. Big names. People you might not necessarily expect to be teaming up together.
Really?
Yeah, maybe we'll bring them in. They can have a chat with you
I
about
have
their
no problem.
plan.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
part of their team, aren't you?
Yes, as a supporter. Everyone needs a cheerleader.
All right.
You fulfill that role.
That's me.
That's you.
That's what I say about me doing my job. I fulfill the role of somebody covering it, and you all can do it.
Yeah, and you do a fantastic job of it.
Thanks.
Right.
There you go.
We couldn't do it without you.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Any final comments before we wrap up?
No, just 73 days till the 27th of April, and we'll see you all there.
Dang, 73 days. The other day was like 300 or something. No, it's like 73. Damn, time flies, man. Having fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. And you'll be back again this Thursday.
Yes.
So you may have some of your surprise guests join us, huh?
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
We can always drum up a surprise for you
I'm
guys.
sure you can. I'm sure you can. Miss Costley, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It didn't cost
Thank you.
anything for Inside Sports, so we're happy to have you on any time. Vicky's a different question, different statement, I should say. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back after this.
Stop radio. to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio with Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. We just had Vicky Abraham and Ms. Costley join us just moments ago from the ITU, as we are 73 days down from the second annual ITU World Championships here in Bermuda. Of course, Flora Duffy defending her title when she's back overseas in South Africa training for the upcoming event. They discussed today volunteers. The deadline is March 17th. They'll extend it a couple of days thereafter, but deadline is the 17th, and get things in motion. Looking to use Work Academy as the venue. That has yet to be confirmed for training, that is, and put things in motion for the 27th. You made a good point, Earl. The 25th and 26th, that's the Thursday and Friday night. There's going to be opening events along Front Street as well.
Yeah, the opening ceremony, of course, is the Thursday night. They, in conjunction with the Wednesday night Harbor Nights, they've moved it for that particular event to Thursday night,
right,
where they will host the opening ceremony for the 2019 World ITU Championship Series event. And then on the Friday, as we saw last year, the juniors will compete in a sprint triathlon and a duathlon. Some of the kids will be able to just run. So it gives them an opportunity to be on the same course that will be used by professionals the next day. So
wow.
I know it was a huge success last year with the juniors on the Friday night taking part. A few spills here and there, but I think for the most part, they had a good time. And then, of course, on the Saturday, starting sunup, will be the age group, and then the elites in the afternoon. So it's a full day on Saturday, but things get underway on Thursday evening along Front Street at the Harbor Night celebration, and then on Friday night it's the youth run also again on Front Street. So it's important to note the 25th, 26th, and 27th of April as the weekend of the ITU event.
Good point. So 25th, 26th, and the 27th, and again the second annual World Championships here, and the World Championships will be held here in Bermuda. It'll be interesting to see the numbers regarding the local perspective. How many are going to join for the first time participating or return and say, I want to take on this challenge again for a second year in a row.
It's interesting because as you know, and you've seen even the Bermuda Day Half Marathon Derby, you'll see a lot of people try something for the first time. Once they've ticked that off, some will say, I've done it, I'll spectate this year. But you also have those that will say, I had a good time last year, I'm going to try it again this year. And then you have those that were on the sideline and said, that looked fun, let me try it. So those numbers there can fluctuate up or down, but I think with everything that happened last year, weather-wise, the end result of Flora winning in the afternoon, I think it's created a buzz of those people, more of those people who said, I had a great time, I'm going to come back and do it again. And those people said, that was a very interesting afternoon or interesting day, let me try and see if I can get involved as well. So I think that's going to be the winning point. Hopefully the weather cooperates again. There was a bit of a chop in the ocean, but then again, that's what you're up against. But I think out on the course, I think they had no complaints on the whole surrounding. Now, I know last year there were speed bumps taking out along the course, wondering if that's going to also again happen again this year, which
most likely,
just, if everything is going to be kind of the same. I know the committee through Vicky has had to make some changes as far as the racing side of it is. I know that they are talking about putting a ramp in for them to dive into the water as the dock was a bit too high. Wow. Just small things that are able to be manufactured. So they'll bring in a barge. I would think. I don't think they'll build a platform just for that, but they'll bring in a barge that is big enough and get them to dive off there. The staging coming out of the water seemed to be a good thing, and then you got the road to deal with. So, I think it was a well organized, well run event. And again, we see what's in front of us. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of frantic stuff going on, but at the end, Bermuda shined.
Okay, and you're right. And the good part was that that being the first event, ITU, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think you and I have touched this on numerous occasions over the last 2 years or so, from the America's Cup to the ITU and various other components of international events in Bermuda making their way to the island, and it's becoming very spectacular, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny. You know what the funny part is, though? When you and I were in the high schools and attending colleges and stuff like that, we said Bermuda can host these events. So 15, 30 years later, during my age out there, kind of tells you.
I remember we used to host the golf tournament. They used to come on ABC down at Mid Ocean.
Oh, on TNT, you mean? That was when
not the Grand Slam. Prior to that, we used to host a pro-am event that used to come on ABC. We used to have the XL tennis tournament that used to come on ABC as well. The finals day. So we've been in small part hosting major events, but I think this time around with so much more interest, when you have global athletes involved that already has the attention of Bermuda, I think that's what makes it even better. Because before those events, we were just considered quote unquote spectators. Now we're actually involved, I think, and competing. I think that's what makes it that much more special this time around.
And you're right. Yeah. You're right. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a commercial break. Next guest, Cal Simons, will be joining us in the studio. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be back after this.
Let's Talk Radio. FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. We have Mr. Cal Simons, who's no stranger, in the studio with us today.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Yes.
Work sack.
Yeah.
Work sack. Ring it down. Work sack. Whitney. Ring it down. Whitney.
Don't even exist anymore.
That's what I'm talking about. Whitney does. Whitney. Yeah.
You see what I'm getting? They're getting personal now.
It's not personal, it's a fact.
It's a fact. It's not personal. You just set yourself up there.
I asked these students that go to T and Tatum today what school it used to be called.
Spice Valley.
Thank
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
And that's a fact.
I worked secondary before that.
Yeah.
Well, that's for people a little more mature.
Some more history. Work sec started at where? Word camp.
Yes, sir. Yes, it did.
That's right.
That's when it first started out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, the camp's still there, but the sack is gone.
We moved on. We moved on. It's,
Actually,
you know.
I give work sector credit. I think you were the first schools to wear shirt jacks. In uniform.
Yeah.
For uniform. I think you guys were the first back in the late 70s.
Mm.
Yeah, shirt
Actually,
jackets.
I mean,
Yeah.
I went work back in.
Leave that alone. Leave that alone.
I better stop while I'm here.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All good.
Okay.
Good afternoon to you again.
Good afternoon.
You got some good news coming on board regarding the annual Magic Mile, and you've got a new sponsor, and you can share with our audience what it's all about.
Okay, first I want to just say that this year's event, we do have a new sponsor, and we're glad to have Ms. Spearman here, Skyport Magic Mile. We did have a 23-year relationship with the Telford Industries, and that was good, and now we've started going into a new relationship, and we're excited, extremely excited about the Skyport Magic Mile and be able to hold the Magic Mile. You know what I mean? I think the Magic Mile in itself is a connection, and I think the kids look forward to it, the parents look forward to it, and we just try to make it probably more than most likely one of the most organized events for junior runners.
Right. It sounds interesting. Skyport Magic Mile.
Yes.
It's got a ring to it.
Of course it does.
Explain to us, Skyport.
I mean, we wanted to put our stamp on it, but still keep with the tradition that's been going on for 30 plus years. You know, Skyport, you're flying. Kids
That's
are running
my
so
point.
fast, they're flying.
They're flying.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
I
like it.
I love it.
What can we expect this year, Cal? I mean, it's been a success for years and years.
Well,
Anything different this year?
What we, because of the renewed sponsorship, we're able to bring back the school competitions, and that was exciting for us because what
Nice.
we've done is have introduced again the $200 school competition. So those schools that have more than 20 runners complete their race, you know what I mean, will be eligible for a $200 prize that goes towards their PE program. And I have to say that specifically,
Right,
it goes
right.
towards the PE program. We do that in the preschools as
Mhm.
well, and we do it in the primary schools and the middle schools. You know, and this year we've also introduced another class because what we found was that in some of the primary schools, you know, some of the primary schools are single entry or single strained or
Mhm.
double entry,
Mhm.
and so this year for the first time we're introducing a prize for the single stream entry schools. So when I say single stream, like Port Royal, Heron Bay, Gilbert Institute, you know, those smaller schools.
Right, right.
And then you will also have the larger schools, the West Pembrokes, the Elliots, you know,
Fair enough.
that will again compete, you know,
Right.
and then of course all the preschools jump in because they just like the idea of coming up and running those little ankle biters, you know, at your feet. So it's exciting for us.
You've been involved in it for a number of years as well, decades, Cal. What's it been like? You've seen the transition from the little ankle biters, as you mentioned, to the athletes that went on and represented Bermuda.
Well, I mean, one of the things we do in the club, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't say, is it gives us an opportunity to do a scouting process, if I could use that word.
Farm
you know,
system, scouting.
Yeah,
I like that.
Absolutely. I mean, because, you know, we started the Pacers at age 8, 7 going 8. So if we're able to track an athlete, a young athlete at 5, 6, 7, you know, I mean, if I just call out one name, like Jumal Machette, you know what I mean? He was one of the athletes that we picked up. You know, Kairos Kratos, for example, you know, was another one. You know, these athletes came through and we identify them, you know what I mean? And they've gone on to represent Bermuda internationally. So for us, it is about identifying, you know, I mean, it also gives an opportunity, even the association, for the older age groups, because we have the older age groups, the 12 to 15s, you know, the association are able to identify athletes that they might not normally see at a track meet. You know, they might not necessarily be, you know, in a club per se. You know, maybe we've come across some very good footballers. You know what I mean?
Right,
That can run. I mean, so if we can identify them and get them up to the track, and get them that love for the track, then we've done our thing.
Ms. Perryman, Skyport, this being the first year as a sponsor, are you care to share with us how long is the sponsorship and what can we see what Skyport's going to put in this year and beyond?
So we have committed to a multi-year sponsorship, but you know, after this we're going to sit down and work out all the details. But this year we are really looking forward to this event. In November 2017 we launched our social investment strategy, if you will, and so we've given many investments. We don't like to say donations, we like to invest, whether it's schools, charities, initiatives. And so we've invested in quite a number of things, from public school book donations to Spirit of Bermuda, Crossroads FC, quite a number of charities and schools. And so for this, what we do is we invest in our youth through education, sports, and art. So sports was kind of where we were missing a little bit. We did invest in Crossroads, but we needed something else. So the Magic Mile came up, and we thought that we'd be a perfect fit. So I actually have probably about 22 Skyport staff who are going to be there on hand next week, Saturday, volunteering, and we're all very much looking forward to coming out and on the inaugural Skyport Magic Mile.
General manager going to be there?
He sure will. He's not the general manager anymore. He's the president.
He's the president.
Oh, and he says to tell you hello.
Don't tell him I said that there, right? Don't tell him I said that. He's probably listening. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm done now. I'm done. All right. Well, that's good. And that's good what you guys are doing. You're giving something back to the community.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And we like to do things up. We like to do it right. We like to get very involved and hands-on. And I think that we've done that so far with this. So I'm looking forward to next Saturday.
Cool.
Yeah.
What are the numbers like thus far, Mr. Simons?
Well, right now we're doing online registration on www Race Day World registration. You know, I think up until one day last week, Mr. Rayner, the president, indicated that we had over 100 runners in. So, and then we've already taken in 60 or 70 paper entries already. So, I mean, we still have a good time. You know, the registration doesn't close until the 19th of February, and you know, school's out this week, and you know, we really want to encourage the parents to, you know, go up, register their athletes. All the registration forms and stuff have been presented in the schools. We gave them out to over 100 last week at the primary school cross country championships, and you know, we're just hoping that the schools jump in. You know, the schools are very supportive of the Pacers and what we hold. You know what I mean? The things we host, and I'm hoping that they'll do the same thing again. So we're looking for anywhere between 700, 800. You know what I mean? I think we've been up as high as 9 at one stage, but if we can put it back up, our numbers kind of dropped last year, maybe to like 6. You know what I mean? 600 runners, and I think had a lot to do with the weather, which is very good. But we're hoping to get it back up to around 700, 800 runners. You know, and that would be great.
What's your maximum per age group?
Maximum?
Yeah.
Well, there's really no maximum. We don't put a max on it. Like, for example, if I say, let's say the 4-year-old girls, you know what I mean? The 4-year-old girls will do 1 lap inside the stadium. So what we try to do is we run heats. So it's a very safe environment, you know. So, for example, if we have 40 4-year-old girls, we'll run 2 heats, you know what I mean? So whoever registers, you know, they can come up and run. They have to be full, you know what I mean? We do at times find parents that, you know, my son or my daughter is 3 and they don't go full until December. You know what I mean? We try to say, listen, they need to be full. You know what I mean? They'll get a chance next year. But we really have never really put a maximum on it. I mean, some of our larger numbers are normally like the 9 and 10, or 8 and 9, girls or boys. They might be up around 100 or so. You know what I mean? So, but for us, we don't have a maximum. We just want to make it happen. The more, the merrier.
I know you done your scouting last week, and did you pick up any potential?
We had some horses in there, you know.
I know you had horses. I'm talking about these stallions that weren't already in the stable.
Okay. Yeah, we did a little looking. I mean, there was a couple of kids, you know, that were there, particularly the under 9 boys. You know, there's a young girl and the under 9 girls. You know, she did really well from Northland. So, You know, so we're always looking. You know that, Mr. B. I mean, you know, for us, we work at the ground, the club doors, at the ground roots of the association. So for us, if our base is big, you know what I mean? So as they get up to 12, 13, 14, 15, you know, the triangle, if we can keep the base big, then, you know, we start off with 60, and hopefully by the time Carifta Road are on, maybe we have 30 that's keenly interested in wanting to go, or even higher.
Cool. Let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we will talk more about the Skyport Magic Mile. That's 23rd, 2019. We talked about weather conditions. One of the reasons numbers were down due to weather conditions over the past couple of years. Is there a rain date if something
Yes,
happens?
it is. Yeah. We always schedule a rain date. The rain date is for the next Saturday, which is March 2nd, I believe.
Yeah.
That's already booked.
Okay.
The stadium's already booked.
All right.
You know what I mean? In addition, like if you kind of pull this whole the Magic Mile together, it gives us an opportunity also to. And we've explained that to the sponsors. You know, we like to showcase those athletes that are trying out for Carifta. So we're planning to host, you know, some of the Carifta athletes. You know, whether or not they may want to do a 2 or 4, or you know, even 100 meters. So it gives them also an opportunity to run in front of a very large crowd because the Magic Mile attracts a lot of people.
Right. So we can see you running the 100 and 200, Mr. Simons.
Brother,
I knew you.
No. See how you are? I put in so much mileage by then. You know what I mean? I just don't have a 100, 200 left.
We can reserve to get someone else to do your work for you.
Okay, bring them down, brother.
All right, we'll work on that for you.
Okay, you come on down.
What time is this? Seriously.
We'll be there all day.
You'll be in the pool.
I'll be in the pool.
Yes.
I'll be in the pool.
But question, we often see, especially when it comes to youngsters participating, we see grandstand full when you got preschool, primary school, up until a certain age, and then as you get older, it kind of dwindles down. Any thought of what you're talking about, having them perform in front of large crowd, switching it around a little bit?
Well, we have. I mean, because before the older kids used to go first.
Right.
So this year, and I think we started maybe last year as well, they're going to go in the middle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But first start, they actually go off at 2 o'clock with the event
okay.
starting, and that's the 12 to 15s.
Mm-hmm.
So we found that happening, that people weren't there or they were at the end, and by 3:30, 4 o'clock, everybody's the parents are going and leaving. So we're holding that event right in the middle, so that the crowd is there. I mean, we realized that about 2 or 3 years ago. We said, listen, we need to change this so that the older kids can also collect that glory. Because when you think of the numbers, in the 9 and 10 girls and boys, you may have as many as 200.
Right.
The 10 to 12s, you may have as much as 150.
Right.
That's combined races. So you still have a large number of spectators there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but we've addressed that, and hopefully, we can, with the prizes coming back in, we can hopefully get the middle schools, the Delwoods, the T.N. Tatums, the Sands, to come, and most times Salters brings a large contingent of students, and that's from Salters Cavendish right through to the middle school. Most of the big primary schools normally come and support the event extremely well.
I notice, especially when it comes to presentation, a lot of the parents tend to try to get on the track. Only because you're running a race at the same time and you're doing that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's difficult because we try to, we have a time allotment, so we're trying to keep the thing on schedule.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yes.
If you got this, let's say the 7-year-old boys, and the 7-year-old girls have already ran. You know what I mean? And you've already had 3 heats. So in order for us to stay on top of that, we try to, when the race is running, the kids will
right.
It's difficult, and we understand that the parents want to come across.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know this year Skyport is planning to do something totally different with the awards presentation and how we're going to set it up. And we work hard at trying to keep the parents off the field because it's very challenging, as you know, from being in biz and that. The younger ones particularly, the kids will run. I mean, I've seen where the kids are running, they're in the chute, and before they even get out of the chute, the parents come down and take them right out of the chute, and then they'll call us and say, "Mr. Simons, my son, you didn't have no, he ran in the race. I said, well, did you take him out? Yeah, I took him out of the chute. Well, how you supposed to know? Right. So if he don't come to the chute, and we can record the number, we do the timing and stuff electronically, but we also have to record the number at the end of the chute. So if you take them out, that's why we stress to the parents to stay in the stands. It's important for you to stay in the stands. You know what I mean? So that we can do what we have to do, and the officials that come to do what they have to do. But we're trying to work with that, and it would be nice if we can create an area where the parents can get across, and maybe that's what we can try to push this year. So if there's any parents there, but when you open that can of worms up, it's very difficult to
close the door.
I mean, once you open that gate, that bottom gate down by the stadium, and say, okay, I've got parents coming in, you're not going to have parents, you're going to have aunts, you're going to have grandparents. You're going to have godparents, and everybody wants to, instead of one person come over to take a picture, and social media, they can spread it any way they like these days.
On that day, everybody's a parent.
That's
bottom line, right? Parent this, parent that, all right? Back to Skyport, it was a no-brainer for you, and you said you wanted to give something back to the community, and more so in the sports perspective.
Yes.
And this event here has been around for, as we know, decades. When they presented, putting Carol Simons on the spot, when they presented, it was like, what, just a no-brainer, right?
It was, yeah.
Dang, Carol, you got it like that, didn't it?
Well, I can't take that all that credit by myself.
Well, your
but
team.
No, we met with the entire team,
yes.
And it just, it made sense for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How is the Skyport staff and team feeling being a sponsor of this event as they look forward for the February 23rd date?
Everyone's really excited about it. I mean, when we announced it to the team, we announced it before we announced to the media.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm playing with you.
I'm pulling you
I'm pulling you
for the world does.
Yes, of course.
But everyone was really excited. The feedback was all positive. And I know that there are some staff who are going to have their children participating or their grandchildren. I know I'm going to have my son participate, even though he has a football game that day.
Stay in the don't go in the stands, right?
Remain
in the stands.
I'm in the field.
Oh, that's even worse. You know what's gonna happen? She's gonna go make it. She's gonna start off, right? I see that. What example you gonna
be
say?
there cheering for my son on the sidelines. That's
but you're gonna take him right out the chute.
No, I'm not. I don't believe in preferential treatment. No.
It's gonna be all on camera anyway. Catch it. Right. Oh, that's good.
No, but yeah, everyone's really excited.
Good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Son. He's about to say
No,
something.
well, I just wanted to share. We have the event starts at 12.
Right, sure.
Right?
Please do.
And of course, the 12 and under. I mean, the under 4s is first,
Mhm.
and there's the girls and boys, and they kind of roll right on. So it's 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock. 12:20. They just roll from one to the next. And one of the things I want to stress to the parents, in addition to registering, is also get up there to collect your numbers early. We have volunteers that come in at 8. So they can come to the stadium inside the southern field, up in the timing booth and the press box, and to collect your numbers. And this year, we're giving out goodie bags to the first 150
Mm-hmm.
parents or athletes that collect their numbers. And this is something new, and it's all
Through the sponsorship.
yeah, because we've never been able to do it before. So. That first 150 collect their numbers, but we want to encourage the parents to get there and get their numbers. I mean, we've seen where, and because we run it like this, it's just rules, right? We've seen where, a race is scheduled for 12:20, you know what I mean? And on the form it says you need to be a half an hour before because that race could go off at 12:15. And parents are saying, and they're getting there at 12:15, running up, trying to get their numbers, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the 4-year-old girls are on the track, and I'm like, wait, my daughter, I'm gonna get them, and we really want to encourage the parents to get up there, get their numbers, be in position, so that their son or daughter is not rushed onto the track. They can go in and go through the check-in process where they feel very comfortable, So, but we've seen it. We've seen with parents literally saying, "Oh, my daughter's in this race," and you're dropping her over the rim. That's really, for us. I think that's where, we're asking the parents to get there, be there on time.
And then also, there's no registration on the day.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
not on
good.
the day.
That's good. That's good.
Absolutely, because it would be
Helter Skelter all over again.
I mean, it's crazy. The first couple of events we did, we tried registration in the morning, and you're saying, okay, fine, you've taken in 600 runners that have registered, and then on the morning, parents would say, "You want to run today? Yeah, let's go." And we did a registration period that maybe about from 8 to 10, but it was so difficult to print off the material that goes down to the officials,
right?
Because you're taking in another 35 runners in the 4-year-old boys or 25 runners, and all that stuff is prepared the night before.
There you go.
So it's very difficult for us to do registration on the day.
Well, you supposed to say something?
Nope.
Oh, sorry. Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We wish you all the best on the 23rd of February, and of course the rain date will be March 2nd, the following Saturday. Again, what time start on the Saturday?
It starts at 12.
12 noon until conclusion.
Well, until it starts at 12, and if we, most times our last race probably goes out around 3:40, 3:50. You know what I mean? 4 o'clock. Yeah, we try to stay pretty close to time, and if we can get ahead, we move ahead.
Most importantly, it starts at 11:30.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
11:30.
That's it.
Because you're going to be there half an hour.
Half an hour ahead of your race.
I think it must be that's a good point. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, you want to. And see, you have kids that are playing football. Girls that are doing ballet or dance and stuff. And we encourage the parents to get up there, even if they're doing
Parking is not easy.
Yeah. To get
I gotta ride my bike.
yeah. Come on in.
No, I'm going swimming.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you're just going
The pool be
Walk
empty
over,
when we
yeah.
come back.
Walk over what?
you're not going to come over?
I'm going to be too tired.
To walk around?
I'm going to be too tired.
I don't know what type of swimming you do.
Apparently, not really swimming. From what I've been told. 12 meters at a time.
In a 50-meter pool? Okay,
well,
okay.
that's what I've been told.
I'm not going to deny
it. And it came from the man himself. So.
First time I got in the pool, my boy said, "Nah, it's 25 meters for me." I said, "All right, cool." Jumped in. Got about 12 meters. I'm already know. My arms were killing me. My shoulders were killing me. Boy. I said, "Swimming is no joke, right?" And I have a pool at home, and I ain't even jumped in it.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's bad. Bad. But it woke me up. Anyway, nevertheless. We're going to wrap up. We're going to take our last commercial break and be back after this.
Check you later, brother.
Yeah, we heard you in the ear. Not a problem, Cal. We'll check you later. I'll check you Thursday, Cal. You want to go that far? Well, thank you again for joining Inside Sports today on Monday. We'll be back on Thursday, another special edition of Inside Sports Talk Radio. And next week, Monday, we're coming live from August Group Insurance Company at 12:15.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Any final comments you'd like to add, sir?
No, just looking forward to a lovely afternoon in this wonderful weather.
It's gonna be warm in about another 3 or 4 weeks. You know that, right?
Yeah, well,
But you like the cold, you say?
I heard Dunn's report on the weather after the news.
I know. I said Friday.
You need a
rain.
diving mask and snorkel at the end of the week.
Jeez, man.
So
It's gonna rain Friday, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed on Friday. We have rain and showers, a chance of thunder. So hey,
what is Saturday looking like?
Same thing.
I'm waiting for the report to come in at 5:30. Then we'll update.
Okay.
I hope it changes by Friday or Saturday. Yeah.
We need it. We can use it because come midsummer we're praying for rain.
Yeah.
So,
You doing Indian dance and everything else.
yeah. Well, we don't want the wind that comes with the rain that comes in the summer because those are usually hurricanes.
That's true.
So-
From June 1st to us.
Is it October?
October 31st,
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
It'll be windy on Wednesday too.
Oh, okay.
Windy Wednesday.
Cool.
Okay. That's not
Sailing day.
bad. Yeah. All right. Don, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. You guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Sports Talk Radio. This presentation is brought to you by Game.